Hey, hey, hey. All right, people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, we are putting these things out. We putting them out. We putting them out. We are right now reviewing episodes 3 and 4 of season 2 of Young, Famous, and African. All right. Episode 3 is entitled Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And episode 4 is entitled The Queen Bee. So I'm combining these two episodes because individually they were okay. But when you combine them together, you get a lot of story. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, let's do a little housekeeping. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If when you subscribe, you will be opened up to a plethora of playlists, which are of movies and television series that I have reviewed, plus some pop culture chats, just reviewing what's going on in pop culture and seeing how that may tie in us learning some lessons and seeing how it affects our daily lives. Most of the time, it doesn't affect our daily lives, but we are low key messy and gossipy, but we want to do it in an air that we educate each other. That's how we do. All right. Let's get involved. Let's get involved. Now, I will tell you what I enjoyed about these two episodes. The main thing that I enjoyed about these two episodes is that our new characters are front and center in these episodes. So remember, we have Lewis from Namibia. We have Bonang. She's from South Africa. And we have Fatina, Fatina. We have Fatina, who's from Ghana by way of the United States of America. So we are able to get more information or just feel them out and vibe with them. And so far, what I like about them is that they are the drama. They are bringing in the drama. Katya was bringing the drama last season, but this particular season, they are the ones bringing the drama. And so we like that. So let's kind of go over what's going on. And like I said, I'm going over these two episodes. So everything that I'm telling you may blend in with those two episodes, but just bear with me because like I said, these two episodes to me should be reported together. So let's talk about Fatima. Diamond is working overtime. When I tell you he is working overtime to get in her good graces and just basically to get into her pants. That's just all. But Fatima is down with it. Fatina is down with that because she says she a city girl, honey. So she can love you and leave you. She's not gonna catch flights or feelings for you. So she's talking with Diamond. She likes his vibe. He makes his move, his little skinny self. He makes his move, and they went upstairs and had them a little tete-a-tete because they had a little date outside of the studio. Also, we meet Lewis. Now, Lewis is, like I said, they are describing Lewis as being soft. Lewis describes himself as being the man and being, the man. But everyone in the group that has had a interaction with Lewis is saying that Lewis is soft, which is sad because I don't think he's soft. I just think he's a guy that's conscious of what's going on as far as what he wants to get out of the world, and he feels like he has to conform to what he needs to conform with to do it. Now, Bonang says that Lewis is a liar. She doesn't know Lewis. She doesn't remember Lewis. Lewis is telling. So here's the story. Here's the story for these two. Lewis tells us a story that when he was about 23 years old, he was tasked for his country to host this party for some kind of music awards that they have in Namibia. I think that's what it is. in the part of him doing so, he had a lot of stars from different across the continent from different countries come, and that he had that Bonang was part of that party of people that he had coming. Apparently, he did not confirm the reservations for the hotel. And thus, when she got there, she had no hotel reservations. So she turned around and she came back home. And he's saying that, he's been wanting to apologize to her for that. I think I want to say he told, who did he tell? Did he tell Nadia? I think he told Nadia and Katja the last thing. That's the story that he told. Bonang is like, I don't know him. She pulled a whole Mariah Carey. I don't know him. I don't know what he's talking about. She has no recollection or clue about what he's talking about. And she was like, I really want to hear his story and hear what he has to say about it, because she's telling everybody, I don't even remember that incident. I don't even remember going to that incident. I don't remember anything. Now, mind you, you got Nadia not liking Bonang for a reason. And then you have Katja not liking Bonang for a reason. So there's something in there going on, and we can't really get the truth yet. But let's continue. So Bonang decides that she is going to host a boat party for Zari and Ani, because she knows that those two don't get along, and she's trying to figure out what's the tea. So she talks with Ani, and she asks Annie about Swanky, because you remember Bonang and Swanky are friends. So Annie, again, you remember how I told you last review that Annie tries very hard to sideswipe the truth. She wants everybody to stay on the surface level, and once you get in there and once you figure out the insides or the depths, you find it is murky or nasty. And she doesn't want you to dig that deep, because she doesn't know how to navigate being here in that murky and nasty part. So she stays above it. She tries to stay above it and act like, oh, it's not really nasty. It's not that, dirty. It's anything like that. You all are just trying to be in my business. But anyway, she tells Bonang that her and Swanky fell out. How did she say? She said she said it was something about their business. She says, and this is what she says. Annie explains to Bonang that Swanky and her were supposed to do this party, and that they were supposed to do this party together. And what happened is, she said that Swanky stopped talking to her, and that he did the party without including her. And he didn't even invite her to the party. And she felt left out. And then she was saying, and he's so, basically, he's such the drama, and he did all of this, and I don't even know why he's upset with me. And then she plays the voicemail when he heard about Tubaba and the stuff that was going on in the blogs. And she was like, see, he's supposed to be my friend, and he's calling all confused, like he doesn't know. He knows about me and Tubaba. He knows how we are. And for him to just buy into that, you see what I'm talking about? He's changed. So she says that. She tells that story to Bonang, and then Zari shows up, and she's very cordial with Zari all of a sudden. And I don't, she should be, because she, last season she was mad at Zari because Zari knew her man, and she didn't know. Annie did not know that Zari knew her man, and she felt like Zari was supposed to tell her all of this stuff. And she was like, I dated Diamond. Diamond and I, we went out and we were across the continent. They were doing a concert together, and that's how I met him. I didn't know I was supposed to be able to do all that, but you know how Annie is. Annie is quite insecure about her relationship with Tubaba, because she realizes that she is not his one, his only, and his everything. And we will get into episode 4 about what Tubaba said about the whole situation. So anyway, in episode 3, Annie took the time to sit down with Andili on Andili's podcast and kind of go over about what's going on in the blogs, and go on about how she felt and how what was going on, the lies and the innuendo and all that other stuff, how that's affecting the children. Please remember the children. I want you to remember the children because they're the ones who's going to be affected by it all. But again, that's classic Annie, as she has shown us for the past 2 seasons. She's upset about it. She knows it's an issue, a problem, but she will deflect, direct, and again be on that surface about, oh, well, there's not that many problems, and people just make up things, and I don't know why people will make up things to try to hurt me and my family. You know, me and my family, we love each other, and you know, the kids can get along and everything like that. And Tubaba is a great husband, and, you know, and then she said, most importantly, he's a great father. You know, that kind of talk to pull you on those heartstrings and all of this stuff. Any way that she's going to do as a woman that loves a man who is a cheater. She wants to deflect from all that and for you to see this good man, because if you see this good man, then it makes her feel confident and comfortable enough for her loving this man. Because if you see he's a good man and I believe he's a good man, then he is a good man. Okay, Annie. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been struck by Tubaba. Anyway, let's keep moving. I'm trying to think. I'm seeing, as far as I'm reviewing these first 3 episodes, is that Naked DJ and Kylie, they're almost pushed down to the roles as friends, a friend role, because they don't really have a storyline that we're reviewing. But they've been pushed down to just the friend role. Kachi has been regulated to the enemy from episode 2. She's been regulated to that because she stirred the pot. She doesn't see herself as that, but that's what she has been regulated. I think we're spending more time on these new characters, because apparently these new characters, Bonan, uh Fatina, and Lewis, are bringing a little bit more of the drama. We haven't gone through the whole season, but right now they're bringing a little bit fresh drama that's needed. As we merge into episode 4, we get all of the information. So let's get to it. Let's get to as to why Swanky and Ani, are you okay? Let's get into it, why they are falling out. So you remember in episode 1 or episode 2, Swanky said that he was on the phone with a friend and he heard Annie say some disparaging things, right? And you remember it was all about this party, this big thing that they had in Lagos, Nigeria. So let's get into it. So Swanky and Annie, Swanky brought to Annie, hey, since we've got this exposure from the Netflix show Young, Famous, and African, why don't we get all of them to come to Nigeria and host this big party and invite all of these people from around the continent and make this a big event. And it's, you know, this will boost our profile. This will do all of these things. So Annie was like, oh, okay, well, I think that that'll be good. And well, he actually brought it to her, and then he discussed it with her manager. And so they were working on trying to get this done. Well, you know, Annie disappears. She doesn't do with anything because, again, once Tubaba starts sniffing somewhere else, Ani is just like, I got to figure out where he's at. I got to figure out who he's sniffing around. I got to figure out what's he doing, because that's the most important thing. Me figuring out Tubaba life and getting him settled versus the things that I got going on, because it's all about Tubaba and you know, I don't want anybody to think that I am this way. I want to be seen. She wants her relationship to be seen as perfect, like this. Ooh, we come from the same village, and Tubaba made it big, and I was the one that was standing behind him and supporting him all this way. Meanwhile, Tubaba is doing what he needs to do. He's in his relationships with he's having a relationship with Annie, but he's community peeing. He's been around the world and sticking his peen everywhere. And so she's trying to, it's almost like she wants for him what he's not really willing or able to give. She wants him to be this loving husband, this faithful husband, this caring father, but that is not what he's willing to give. But anyway, here is what, according to Swanky, this is what happened. He said that he was on the phone with the manager and they were talking about getting everything done and getting everything settled. So the manager puts him on hold, but he brings Annie on. And before the manager can, I guess the manager was talking about this thing. And before he can let her know that Swanky is on the phone, Annie goes to talking. Well, I know you like Swanky and all this other stuff, but I don't know if we're going to do this. And then, according to Swanky, she said some disparaging things about him. And the manager is like, wait a minute, hold on. He's trying to put the reason, but he ends up putting Swanky on mute. And he's talking to Annie, but Swanky hears all of this stuff that Annie is saying. And I think he got Annie off the phone. And then Swanky was like, you know what? She don't want to do it for real. She doesn't want to do this thing. So I'm going to do it myself. Annie is now in the background because she doesn't realize that her mouth has gotten her into some problems. She's now in the background and she sees Swanky pull this thing off, and she's pissed off because, number one, that was supposed to have been their idea, and number two, she wasn't even invited. And she doesn't know at this point why he's upset. So now we get the full picture because we have Annie's truth, we have Swanky's truth, we've combined them all, and now we've gotten the actual truth. And so she is upset with Swanky because she didn't get invited to the thing, and she claims that she doesn't know. And she probably doesn't know, because I've got a little sneaky thing about that manager, because if I was that manager, I'd have been like, he's on the phone. You're talking this stuff and he's on the phone. So only in fairness to Annie, and like I said, because the way she's so reluctant in talking, I can't see that she just started talking about Swanky before being prompted about some things. So I will just give her that. But do I believe she said some things? Absolutely. Because she says it to everybody else. When she's not in that person's presence, Annie will then talk about that person like there's something wrong. Because you remember last season, she talked about Zari, and she didn't like Zari. And when you got down to the nuts and bolts as to why she did not like Zari, it had everything to do with the fact that, like I've said before and probably several times, and will continue to say it, is that Zari knew her man and she didn't know anything about Zari. And she felt like Zari should have addressed her about her man. And Zari didn't, because if you watched last season, they were at a party, and I think somebody Annie called Tubaba, and Zari said something to Regress, and he recognized and he understood who she was. And that made Annie upset, because she's like, I don't know. How do you know her? How do you know my husband? How do you know my man? Well, at the time, Zari was dating Diamond, and she was going to shows with him, and that's how she knew. Okay, so let's move forward. So Swanky has this dinner party. And he has his dinner party with Bonang, with Zari, with Lewis, and with Zatanna. I probably pronounced that girl's name 75 different ways, but I'll get it right. I will. He has a dinner party, and baby, the things between Lewis and Bonang blow up. Lewis tries to apologize to her about what happened down in Nibia. But she's like, you're lying because I don't know anything about that. And do you have proof? Google it. Let's Google it. Let's figure this out because you're talking about something that I would remember going to a hotel and going to a hotel and I have no reservations for a party or something that I've and I turn around and I go home. I definitely would remember that. And they go back and forth and back and forth about that, and they kept it cool, they kept it sweet. Well, apparently Lewis likes Zatina, Fatima, Fatana, Fatina, Fatina. He likes Fatina, and he made a move on Fatina. And Fatina is like, I mean, he's cute and all, but he's just not my type. There's something about him that's not my type. But he's working hard to try to, to get Fatina to see him. They go back to the table, and that's when all hell breaks loose because Swanky, with his little messy ass, decides that he's going to say, well, Fatima is dating Diamond and they're in a little relationship. And then that sends Zari because, I did not mention that Fatima says that, and I think somebody else has said it too. It's something, when Zari is in the room, Diamond doesn't, he's no longer available to anybody but her. He makes it seem like she's the only woman for him, but they don't date anymore. They just co-parent. And that's how he's acting. You remember first season, that's how he did Nadia. He was so into Nadia. Oh, she was so beautiful. Oh, she was who he wanted to be with. And then she's believing that. And as soon as Zari walks in the room, he don't see Nadia. Same thing with the when we were in excuse me. It's the same thing that happened, with Andile. He doesn't want Zari, but he definitely doesn't want Zari to date, even though she is dating. I think the issue with the other guys is that he has no direct access to those men, but he does have direct access to Andile. So Fatina is in her feelings about it, and Fatina's like, hey, I've noticed that when he's with you or when you are in the room, he acts like you're the only person that he's dating. And so she was like, well, that's so, Zari says that's so odd because he's dating somebody else and I'm dating somebody else. I don't even want him. But she says, I do recognize, that when I come into, he's the father of my children. And, we're just going to be cordial and lovey-dovey with you because, he's the father of my children. And that's what Zatina was saying. It's just like, it seems more than you all being father of the children. But anyway, the whole table went wild. They went to fussing and fussing with each other. And then they kind of concluded. Lewis's feelings was hurt because he thought he had an end, but Diamond then beat him to the punch. So that's basically it for those 2 episodes. They were good. Oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. My bad. I almost, because Tubaba upset me so bad, I almost focused it out of my life. Listen, Annie decides to have this dinner party. So she invites Andile, she invites Nadia, she invites Kylie and Naked DJ, and Tubaba is there. Tubaba, innocent, showed his whole ass. And he showed his whole ass to the world. And Annie has to now deal with everybody knowing that this man that she is married to, that she is in love with from the core of her being, is who everyone believes that he is. A piece of shit. So let's get into it. They have this dinner party and they're talking about relationships and stuff like that. So Nadia is asking questions. Well, it looks like, the way he was talking, it was like that ignorant oil was in him. But I don't remember seeing him drinking a whole lot. But he was acting like that ignorant oil was in him. And baby, when I tell you the ignorant stuff he spouted with his wife sitting there, basically he says, because Nadia is listening, and Dealey is getting mad because he's saying that Nadia is stirring it up. And Nadia is like, I'm not saying anything. He just continues to speak. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm not going to stop it because Andili wants her to like just like change the subject or do something different. But here's what he's saying. This is what Tubaba says. Tubaba is like this. Yes, I can be in love with somebody and I can be married to them. But when I get ready to fuck, I'm ready to fuck. And whoever's in front of me that wants to fuck, then that's who I'm going to fuck. And so they were trying to figure out, does he mean that about himself or does he mean about that in general? What does Tubaba say? Oh, I mean that about me. And Annie is looking there and she says in her confessional, I can't lie. I was embarrassed. Of course you are. Of course you are. Because you are trying to hold on with it's like it's a piece of string and you trying to make this piece of string the strength of your marriage and everybody sees it's flaky except for you and you're trying to make it seem like it's stronger than it is. Basically this man has sat there in his wife's face and says, yes, she's my wife, but when I get ready to get out here and have sex, I'm going to have sex and nothing's going to stop me from having sex, and any consequences come from it, oh well, I'm still going to have sex. I'm still going to do that because I am a man. Kylie and Naked DJ, they look like, honey, they was like deers in the headlight. They were like, I think we all were them because I was like, oh, he is a plum fool, big fool. And he put that out there that this is what he was going to do. This is what he was going to say. And oh my gosh, when I tell you, Annie was so outdone because she was looking in Ndile's eyes. She was looking at everybody and she realized that they were listening to him and he wasn't talking about Annie like, oh, she's a she's stupid, she's dumb. But how he was saying it was giving everybody that conclusion. And Annie was so upset, she just ran out. She just, I mean, it's all, it's like she downloads, and when she can't when it doesn't hit right, she just shuts down and she leaves, and that's exactly what happened. And baby, baby, I'm like, okay, now Annie, now you know who you are married to, and it's not the world beating down on Tubaba, aka innocent, aka Tubaba. It is Tubaba out here interacting in the world like he's interacting with the world. And now you have to understand and you have to see that that's what the hell is going on. Po baby, po baby, po baby. And, uh, I'm concluding it here. That's not how the two episodes ended, but that is how I'm going to conclude it. What do y'all think about this episode? What do y'all think? A mess. A mess. A mess. A mess. It's not the music I wanted to play. I had this all theatrical thing to play. All right, people. That's the end. Tell me what you all think. Do you think Annie is going to recover from Tubaba embarrassing her the way he is? Or is he going to talk sweet nothings to him and see if he can get back around and really explain himself to the family? How do you think Andili feels? What do you think about Lewis and Benang and their mess? What do you think about Zatanna and Zari and their mess with Diamond? What do you think about Andili's mess with Zari? And what do you think about the revelation about what's going on with Annie and Swanky? Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know in the comments. All right. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, people, boy.